don't even think we need it. If the state government need to form a unity to forge a good part of this region, it will be better. Now, the Southeast Development Commission is coming up with something on security, which something I'm looking at they might not be able to implement. Why? The state governments are called chief executive officers, and for over several years they have not been able to tackle insecurity. Why? Because they don't have the control over the security agencies. The command comes from federal. Then, if the state governments are not able to tackle security, what do you think the Southeast Development Commission can be able to do when you are not able to control the security forces, which are not under your control? You can't do any meaningful progress on state if the federal police and other security agencies are not under your control. It will be quite difficult for you to tackle security without their support. Now, we are talking of them focusing on infrastructure. That would be better. Areas I believe they should focus on in terms of culture. We know we have agrarian communities in Southeast, some states in Southeast or communities. All those agrarian communities, why don't they aggregate them into a hub? You talk of building agro-processing hubs. All those communities, you can form them into clusters and build agro-processing plants, whereby all those farm use can be transformed. There's a lot of value chain you have to cover. Transform all those things into exportable products. It will help our local farmers. So they should aggregate those agrarian communities in the Southeast, start building modern state-of-the-art agro-processing plants to help our farmers. Apart from that, then you talk of railway. Railway is another important area they should focus on. Then electricity. What Abia State did in terms of the new electricity something like that, they should emulate it and look at how they can replicate such in other regions or in other states in the South. Well, because Southeast is quite is an industrial and commercial area, and the electricity has been a major problem. So these three areas, electricity, building that, they replicating that format.
All right, your time.
Talking of building to help our farmer.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. 0916 000 5945.
0916 004945.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. I want to continue what our last caller said. I would like the body, advise Michael Coy. It's my body anyway. We are from the same area. So, but I want to advise you, number one, look at agriculture, irrigation. Just like in the Coy said, look at the Bariam Farm Center, which opera building in region, during this regional district. Maybe it's irrigation. So all these are our rules, so they can farm rice season without season. And again, I want to advise the Southeast political leaders. This commission, I could allow them to include entrepreneurs in this body, not only politicians. Because I believe they include entrepreneurs. Most of our brothers, those in Europe, most of them, because they won't. I don't want them to focus on only money that comes from the federal government. I think Igbos were everywhere in the world. And if they are doing well, I believe most of our brothers outside country will come in. It's these people that will support. So what I want to tell them, let them this is great for agriculture. The railway is very, very important. I think we can partner with China for us. Second, this Committee of Health wasn't looked at about the kidney and the heart system. Yes, I think it's good for them to go between Enugu state, so that our people can be able to benefit from this thing direct. not security they are talking about. Because they don't even have the law, able to achieve what they want to achieve is of security. And it's the side of agriculture and railway. And our health is very, very important. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Looking for where to connect the Southeast. Hello, good morning. Good morning. 0916 0005945. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Go ahead, Adonis.
Think it's the concept and the idea of this Southeast Development Commission is to devolve power to address the marginalization issue that we are having around this space. Now, how we perceive it is what matters. You see, Chioma Nweze, who happens to be the special advisor to the president on Southeast development, she could be doing what she thinks is good for the region. But I would like our critical stakeholders, somebody like Fandokeya and Johannes Ndigbo, and both the present and the past governors, let them rally around the commission to see that the intended impact is achieved. One thing about this is that the presidency will think that he has settled Ndibo, he has given attention to Southeast. And if we don't make the optimal use of this opportunity, we might be losing. So I think they should rally around Choma Wednesday, to see that we bring out the desired effect of fruition. I saw some of her team moving about my community a couple of weeks ago, trying to cite a place for water boreholes to save. I think they still have other robust plans for Southeast, but they need our cooperation and our support. Thank you very much indeed.
All right, thank you, Adonis, for calling in 0916 0005945 or 0916 0004945. Good morning. Hello, are you there? Good morning. Okay. 0916 0005945. Good morning. Can you hear me? Hello? Good morning.
Yes, my name is
Go ahead.
I think I was in primary sometime because I was education under Wood and I was frustrated. I just want to I just feel the Southeast because we also attract investors into the work or within. I don't know whether that is just for people within the other. That as far as what you can try for just 2020, not like opening our eyes. 1.6 million for a state. 140.
All right. Sorry, we're having difficulties with your connection. We'll quickly go for a break and we'll be right back.
Listening to 94.5.
Commission, and we've spoken to Chief Ondoka area who has x-rayed these issues and wrote out some of the developmental projects that the Commission should be looking into. We're still taking calls at 0916 0005945 or 0916 0004945. You can also send in messages to our WhatsApp line. It's 09128 945 and 945. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Urban Radio 94.5 from Enugu. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning to you. Welcome, Uchenna. Go ahead.
Well, I know the plan as is needed. But my problem is, I'm very skeptical about this commission. Why? The funding. If in 2025 we had the budget of 200 billion and only 5 billion was saved, then how much are we expecting to be? So the funding, I think, to me is a major problem. And then I'm not seeing it as a question. I think it's outside of thinking. So that being said, I encourage the Southeast Development Commission to look beyond funding from the federal government. How can they attract investors? How can they attract our people in diaspora who are always ready to donate for a genuine cause? Let them come into the commission and help fund all these plans. Plans are very obvious, the plans are very brilliant. But funding, currently in this country, we are running 2 projects, 2025 and 2026. So the funding will be a major problem of this commission. And somebody could support rally around. I've not seen much support from our agency. Some other organizations like that, cultural political groups like that in Southeast and we need to support the commission at all levels. Everyone needs to support the commission. Find a way to fund that commission. The government, I don't think, will help. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. 0916 0005945. Don't forget WhatsApp also. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome.
We say this time with our number. Our problem in Nigeria, mostly South, is we are not in one. We are not good because they are saying maybe it's an APC man, a governor, instead of them to be one, irrespective of the party, so that to move our Southeast forward. They can't do it. Everybody will say, I'm not belonging to APC. For that reason, we can't be holding a common meeting in such a way that anything that coming from the federal government, they will utilize it and they do meaningful with it. Actually, I believe this is not the first time where this money is coming down to Southeast here. But what have they done with it? If I'm to ask, because some of us is no longer a kid. We are matured enough to know the good and bad things and our situation. We're not supposed to trust ourselves for programs of development. Because when we develop one side and it's our own benefit and benefit for the future generation that's coming ahead. It's never even late. If we start from today, do it meaningful. It's good for us. We're not supposed to carry anything foul against this nation because most of the 90% of our sources are from Southeast. If I'm not mistaken, but I believe that is true. Supposed to be, our side here is supposed to be standard. All these things are supposed to work in. They're working like a hard work. You cannot go and they are real life supposed to be functioning. But when you go to North, people who are not far away from us, if they have a real life, where is their economical world travel. But South is here, everything collapse. Let's talk about it. Let them go up and blame. Because we are one, irrespective of your party. Let us be meaningful to people. We don't need this kind of job. Because we have something that will create job for us. I have many other things. Please let me stop here and give chance for that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Night Mountain Crier, for joining us. Keep the messages coming to on WhatsApp 0916 09128945 That's the WhatsApp line. But we'll take a few more calls before we get over to WhatsApp and then ultimately get back to Chief Ndukaya to conclude. Hello?
Do well to call us back 0916 0005945. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and location, sir. All right, Chidiver, welcome.
Yeah, based on the SADC matters, I thought that the president has done a lot establishing that body. They want the circuit class to go and develop their home. And they mandated them to go and raise for the funds. This is good that those people that are committed to clear should see it as a path to them. If the funds not too hard, we have marketplaces in different states. We have different transport unions. We have factories and factories. One thing is that every Easterner should join hands together in the development of Southeast.
Okay.
Under a federal government matter. The federal government has now the mandate to go and develop our place. And the mandate is really just a treatment just to empower the body. Give them the work to do by themselves and develop the place by themselves.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
I can say good morning to you.
Thank you very much. I've been moving around so I can talk. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
So, you see, we've got a problem. My name is Odasbe. I'm from Ilau. We've got a problem in our country. Once we hear the sound of big money, the Plutons will begin to come out and begin to share the money, irrespective of putting their priorities right. Since this first started, a lot of water has gone under the bridge. And those, Mr. Mark and Co., have forgotten that we must put our priorities right. Things have changed dramatically and drastically. They begin to take education, for example. They take education and they take security. And these two things can got all the money in one fell. So why should they keep stressing? Why can't they start off on a new thing? And recovery started from Niger Delta here, the first one. It took 45 years to finish a road. And I think that road, Babio's road, is still there. Why can't they move up, share up, start on new things, We don't know how to start on new things, but we're scared of doing new things. And we must learn this world now, must then go explore where the special way to pick up new things. Don't go to education, don't go to security.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll take a look at the messages on WhatsApp.
Okay, this one says, good morning. Iminiga from Ataralielt says, if they want to start on a good foot, let them seriously consider steady power supply, interstate rail link, get the whole region gas piped and make potable water available. The citizens can help do the rest. No developed nation can sustain its growth without those basic amenities, and they should base their headquarters in Omaha, Abia State, where Alex Oti can help in many different critical ways. Anambra man, I call me peace. Okay. All right. Good morning, Yagasi and Choma. I concur with Chief Undokaya in his analysis this morning of Southeast Development Commission. Thanks, Reverend Ilem Godwin from Abakaliki. Okay. Good morning, Yagasi Choma and Pandoka. It's me to It says the SEDC are doing a marvelous job. So why won't we on our own work to benefit the people of Southeast? Mark Okoye and his team should focus on making sure we have gas pipelines, seaport. Our lands are fertile. They should look into mechanized modern farming, revitalizing industry, build rail lines connecting the 5 southeastern states, generate power through Luoji. Senator Joseph Ali mentioned during the Senate Committee on SEDC budget screening. and there is no need of all the states having aircraft, as we have one international airport that can serve the whole of Southeast. We need a holistic, well-planned blueprint, not what they presented as it makes no sense. Okay? More messages here says that this is one Kivia from Owan Boji. No doubt, set of development commission indeed was a good idea, but unfortunately, the handlers seem to be interested in what they will benefit financially instead of focusing on the provision of infrastructural development and projects that are beneficial to the people of Southeast as against the Commission's budget presentation, which was more on recurrent expenditure other than on capital expenditure. They would have taken care of the infrastructural development and projects that have been in dilapidated condition since the Civil War ended. Okay. Good morning, Yagaze Choma, and your guest, Chief Ondoka Eya, Comrade Ejikono from Ungo. Says when Southeast Development Commission was created, we thought that it will hasten development across the Igbo states. But ever since the creation of the commission, nothing reasonable has been witnessed or felt. I urge the commission to focus on agriculture rather than embarking on white elephant projects or politicize in the system. It is now known that the Southeast Commission is more of paperwork, imagining 140 billion naira for 2026 budget. At the end of the day, nothing tangible or reasonable will be traced. They should jettison on investing heavily on insecurity because they might not have the legal framework to control it. Thanks, Comrade Ejiko No from Go. Okay. This one says, good morning. On the critical issue of Southeast Development Commission, I would suggest that they rake off late M.I. Obara Eastern Nigeria Development Plan up to 1968, localize it with current trends as it affects Southeast states and take off. The employable staff should be on contract, and let's also pray that their funds be released as per their budget. UN Unico, okay? More messages say, good morning, Urban Radio and Dadindoka. The truth is that the SEDC can be used to do good if corruption does not creep in. The commission, like many have suggested, if they must be counted as serious, must go into development of agriculture in the region, rehabilitation of interstate roads, primary and secondary schools, amongst other developmental efforts that should be concise and budget tied. Unfortunately, their budget defense, I didn't hear about any intention to deeply collaborate with the various state governments in their plans. Rather, it was more of conferences and consultants. Okay. And the final analysis, I'm afraid that the commission may end up becoming a mere settlement for the boys. Joseph from Enugu, and the last message here. This one says, good morning, Urban Radio. Talking about the Southeast Development Commission, the first thing the commission should do is to set up a structure suitable to address the issues of the Southeast as a regional entity, not as 5 states. It should have regional headquarters and state offices and engage development planners and experts. Secondly, to draw up a master plan after articulating needs and issues of regional concerns. The plan should cover physical, economic, social, technological, etc. Aspect of the region. Thirdly, draw up implementation of regional programs on yearly basis. Fifthly, monitoring and review of actions on yearly basis and reporting to stakeholders for feedback, assessment and reviews. The commission should be broad-minded and should work with constituent states to agree on responsibility and roles to ensure synergy. Dr. Val from Enugu.
All right, one last message.
Okay, let's take this one. We have it all in our locker to build the society that we deserve, but unfortunately, the forbidden fruit tastes sweeter. The level of untold corruption that has spread across the Southeast have left us chasing our tails. Right now, all we can do is to look at ourselves. The strength for revolution is all we need because what we are going through is intentional. Delivery Junior.
All right, thank you. Delivery Junior. Thank you to everybody who has wrote us a message. We will now get over to Chief Ndukaya to begin to wrap up the conversation. Chief, are you there? Yeah. Good morning again.
Okay.
Whether should be there or not, I stand by saying that body is being exploited by the federal government to create more confusion. NNDC, you see how much they're saying. In fact, during the calling, I discovered that this 140
which means that most employers don't even know the magnitude of their office, and they're asking for 140 billion. And people are saying, don't waste the money. They should ask for 2 trillion.
2 trillion.
You see, the issue, let me make it clear. First of all, what the whole situation is a confusion. That's why I started by saying, what system of government are we running in Nigeria? Is it a federal, true federation government, or is it a unitary government? Nobody has provided the answer for that question. Because that is where the problem lies. The present government has, it is a question of the dog and the cat. Right now, the cat is wagging the dog instead of the original thing that the dog is wagging the cat. And that is why all this confusion are coming. Give us a regional, southeast regional government, southwest regional government, south-south regional government, northeast regional government, northwest regional government, north central regional government. And we give leave them to run their resources and develop their region
At their own
with
pace.
their own ambition. What you have done is that you've given us, somebody was who called said, oh, the federal government are giving us their own people. The people are politicians of the federal government. You and I, we think are politicians. So they are there as opposition to the government. I asked the question after that, what was the manifesto they brought, not what they call it?
Communicate.
The communicated. We should have known that. Know that. Because they must agree with the existing governments of the South.
Yeah, I understand that they reached an agreement with some states. The state southeast to give them about 5 billion each. You know, each state to contribute to the Southeast Development Commission with 5 billion naira each. You know, it's around 25 billion now.
You see, the states are doing the 5 billion each. Why should they get federal government from them? If federal government should establish it to now see, then the states are contributing to it from their own resources. That's what you see. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm saying. Give us a regional government that the regional premier, the regional president, whatever you call him, and his cabinet, who must have contested election before they become ministers or commissioners, will now take all the development contractors, know their parameters and what, and return their resources to them. The federal government has acquired our resources, which we use to help us for development, and are giving us billions. Like, okay, 5 times that, that's 25 billion. Plus 140 billion. How much is it? 165 billion. When 165 billion, what is it? Development of the region. Well, if they are 50%, 50% of the that is 5. If they are giving a regional government, they contest on themselves. These people are appointed of federal government. They didn't even because they were just for the points. They are all APC points. Which they take those guys among them. So you see, it's all political. Give us a regional government. Return the nation to where it should be. Where the federal government is a government funded by federation, not federal government funding federation. That's why there is this confusion. And these people don't want, after people shall walk over areas. Let us don't understand this confusion going round and round and round. Every day they create one to distract us so that they can be riding right
Thank you, Chief Nduke. Give us a regional government. That's what you say, so that the region can control its resources, can create its own blueprints, budget for itself, and go ahead and carry out developmental initiatives on its own instead of the federal government playing God in everything that is happening across regions. And that's a takeaway from what you have said today. Thank you so much for your time, Chief Nduke. And thank you, parliamentarians, for joining us on this conversation. Today, the Southeast Development Commission, of course, has a lot of expectation over its head coming from the people of the Southeast. There are disagreements as to whether or not this commission can actually achieve much, given the meager resources that it has. Because Chief Nduka has said it, 140 billion naira is not so much of, it's not enough fund to push the kind of development that people will be expecting from the Southeast Development Commission. And I mentioned it on Friday. I said 140 billion might seem like a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. And some people question that. But anyways, this is where we are at this point. Let's even see if that 140 billion naira gets approved by the Senate and then